He is a loathsome, offensive brute. Yet I can't look away.
MMA fighter, racist, Russian security agent, master penman, Slavic demigod. Vyacheslav Datsik has no shortage of titles, but he's perhaps best known as Red Tarzan or that crazy fucking Russian guy. Datsik burst onto the MMA scene in '99 when he knocked out a very young Andrei Arlovsky in the first round and in his first pro fight no less. In all fairness though, Datsik was getting pieced up. Datsik, who was a Muay Thai fighter, mostly just walked forward with this shit-eating grin on his face. When they clinched, Arlovsky was trying to get a guillotine but couldn't lock it in properly. Datsik did get one takedown, but it was obvious he didn't know what to do with it, like a virgin who's getting nookie for the first time. In any case, Arlovsky dropped his guard for a second and Datsik landed a vicious right hand that put him straight to bed. That was really the only notable win he had in MMA. He had a few more fights with guys you never heard of and then went on a 6-fight skid when he started fighting with this promotion named Bars. It was around this time that Datsik started his pro kickboxing career, which lasted until 2019. He did a lot better in kickboxing with a record of 6-2. Datsik's fight records are a bit confusing. He has had plenty of fights, a lot of them just unsanctioned brawls in the gym and shit like that. Some opponents are put on record, others not, so don't hold it against me if I'm not 100% accurate here. His MMA record is 6-9, and I've also seen 13-16. In any case, nothing to write home about. Datsik got the nickname Red Tarzan because he claimed that he was the son of a Slavic god named Perun. Perun is the god of thunder and lightning and also carries a big fucking hammer. Think Thor or Zeus. Coming from illustrious stock like that, you'd be surprised to know that Datsik also joined the Slavic Union, a neo-Nazi organization that was founded in '99 and later banned in 2010. Funny enough though, at first, the Slavic Union welcomed Datsik because of his notoriety, but later they would distance themselves from him because of his antics, I guess. Imagine being rejected by a neo-Nazi group because you're too batshit crazy. In 2006, Datsik suddenly disappeared after his fight with Andrei Kirsanov, leading people to speculate that he had met his untimely demise in a train crash. But to everyone's relief, Datsik was alive and well, and he had just been committing a few armed robberies in St. Petersburg. He got caught, of course, and the authorities were trying to decide what to do with this pillar of society. So in 2010, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and sent to a high-security mental institution for treatment, I guess. Because of that diagnosis, Datsik avoided criminal charges, and after a while, he was moved from that high-security institution to a low-security psych clinic. I guess Datsik didn't care much for the hospitality, so he tore a hole in the chicken wire fence with his hands and escaped. He managed to find a boat and made his way over to Norway, where he was immediately greeted by the local news stations. Datsik was quick to put their concerns to rest by saying that he was not a nationalist, he was just a racist. It didn't take Datsik long to make new friends in Norway. He started running with a group of neo-Nazis that came from ex-Soviet Baltic states and had a tattoo shop. They had a slumber party with Datsik as the guest of honor and took some selfies while brandishing weapons in front of Nazi paraphernalia. The neighbors also saw the men training in some sort of martial art while completely naked. I can totally relate to that. Me and my cousin used to do the same thing when we discovered the north-south position. After the boys had their fun, Datsik decided that it would be best to turn himself in since he was on the run and all. Well, he did and handed over a loaded gun too. The federales promptly raided the tat shop and found more guns, so they arrested Datsik's new friends too. Mother Russia found out about the arrest and immediately sent an extradition request. Danzig, not wanting to go back home, was quick to request political asylum. For the next few months, the Norwegian authorities had to determine if Danzig was a legit head case or just a criminal on the run. It was around that time Danzig turned up the crazy, claiming that Jesus Christ was a Mossad agent. Other claims Danzig made were that he was actually a Russian security agent hired to kill Chechen rebels, and that when he was in custody in Russia, they had stripped him naked and put electrodes on his balls. I actually wouldn't be surprised if that last one was true. Perhaps sensing that he would eventually get extradited, Danzig asked the court to give him the maximum sentence possible for the gun shit, saying that it would help him live a healthier life. And quote unquote, I am too raw for humanity. He got 8 months and was deported back to Russia in 2011. Soon after Danzig got back home, another rumor started making the rounds that he had gotten himself killed in a gang fight in prison. But some dude over at the penitentiary service said that he was alive and well. In 2012, Russian doctors declared that Danzig was actually sane now, so the courts could charge him for those robberies. He got 5 years and was released in 2016. After his release, you would think that Danzig would chill out for a bit, have some vodka and a baklava. But the defender of St. Petersburg wasted no time getting himself into more trouble by putting up makeshift checkpoints around town and stopping innocent couples in their cars and accusing them of being pimps and hoes. He even forced them to kiss affectionately in order to prove their innocence. You can't make this shit up, man. He also stopped some Turkish construction workers and stole their car keys, throwing them in the bush or some bullshit like that, I don't know. He then declared war on all prostitutes in the city. Him and his buddies recorded themselves raiding brothels and attacking working girls. He slapped a few of them around and robbed the brothel itself or the girls, I'm not really sure. But that was before he stripped a few girls down and forced them to walk naked down the streets with their johns in tow. For someone who despises prostitutes, he sure didn't mind taking their money. Anyway, he got 3.5 years for that little stunt and was released in 2019. This time, when Danzig got out of the slammer, he started to take his training seriously. He went pro in boxing as well as taking part in a lot of fights in the gym. He did some goofy shit like fighting 2 dudes at the same time, guys he probably outweighed by 100 pounds or 50 kilos depending on where you are in the world. He got busy for sure, and he was also knocking dudes out, guys that claimed to be tough and had a rep in the streets. As of today, his official boxing record is 5-3, but who knows really. When you're knocking guys out in a warehouse, I don't really know if they put that on record. He knocked out Antonio Silva and most recently Alexander Emelianenko. The two had beef when Emelianenko called Danzig an idiot in some interview. In classic Danzig fashion, he responded with racial and homophobic slurs, of course. He also accused Emelianenko of taking part in fixed fights. In any case, Danzig only needed 13 seconds to knock out Emelianenko. And judging by recent videos, Danzig seems to be doing well and his popularity has grown, at least in Russia. He has a beautiful wife and spends most of his time training. His sponsors or friends, whatever you want to call them, obviously have a lot of cheddar, and it seems like Danzig is not in any financial troubles. Danzig is scheduled to fight some guy named Ilyas Yakubov sometime in December. Not bad, going from psych ward to celebrity. Despite all the shit Danzig has done over the years, he seems to have successfully reinvented himself. Many people think that he isn't as crazy as he wants you to believe, that most of it was just an act in order to get more attention. I don't speak Russian, so I can't really tell from watching interviews, but today at least, he seems pretty normal. I don't know. I'm up in the air about this one. What do you guys think? Thanks for tuning in, guys. Please like, subscribe, and all that fucking bullshit. Until next time, hang loose.